Alrighty, people. So we back at long last. People have been asking me about this to make a video on it, do news on it, what have you. And honestly, first thing, you're just gonna hop into it. GT characters, GT Pan and GT Trunks. Now, of course, in the survey video, people were telling me, "Yo, I think it's coming. I think they're coming. We already got GT Goku. They might as well give us the other two." And I was kind of skeptical of it because I thought, at the very least, we were going to get Baby Vegeta 2 or Baby Vegeta 3, technically, because I'm not even going to get into that. But we were going to get Baby Vegeta 2, and we were going to get Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, because those were like box office characters. These are characters that, when they release, people are going to want them. They're going to sell, right? So I thought for sure they would get released before these two, because these two are kind of like, meh, whatever. Alright, they were a part of the main GT story, at least for the first, 10, 15 episodes? And then they kind of took a back seat once we got back to Earth. But in terms of everything, how I feel about it, or what have you, these characters, they look fine. The figures look well done. I'm just not excited for them, to be honest. I don't really care for GT Trunks that much. I don't care for GT Pan that much. But rest assured, this will probably be the best 1/12 scale GT figures that you'll have a long time to come, So I don't really, like I said, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. It's cool. Hopefully that Trunks comes with the Super Saiyan hair, although I'm not gonna hold my breath for it. Like I said, not super duper excited for these, but I'm happy for all those people that did get it. Now, what I was actually excited for is, and by the way, at the time of this recording, we don't have any official release dates on these, as far as I know. Maybe in post I'll check and see, but I don't think we have any official release dates on this. And sorry for the background noise. Using a new mic. So, with that being said, what I was actually a little excited about comes next. Now, before we get to what I feel is the main event, let's talk about this. So, on one of the Bandai pages, I know they've been promoting the theatrical release, or them putting the Battle of Gods movie back in the theaters, right? And so this is the only reason I could rationalize that they're re-releasing this figure. Now, to be fair, it's only had one re-release, and of course the original release. But this came basically out of nowhere. The only reason I can rationalize that they would even release this again is, one, like I said, the movie's in the theaters, and two, they want to get the last bit of juice out of this 2.0 mold before they officially abandon it, which is probably going to happen not as soon as we think, but it's going to happen sooner rather than later. By the time we get into the Buu Saga, I don't expect to see any more 2.0 stuff. Now, that's my prediction, although it's, nothing is guaranteed. But with that being said, let's move on to the next thing, because this is like whatever. If you didn't have Super Saiyan God, definitely a cool release for you, but I'm not excited for this either. Alright, people, so now we add to the main event. At least what I consider the main event. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, another Vegeta figure, but when you think about it, how many official Vegeta figures? You know what? I'm gonna save that a little bit of tidbit till after I've done reporting on this figure. So, first thing first, it's called s.h.figuarts Vegeta 24,000 power level, right? And it's scheduled to release June 2024. Pre-orders are open now. Pre-orders open October 13th. It's past October 13th at the time of this recording. But let's scroll through the pictures, right? Got him with the angry face. That face kind of reminds me of when he found out one of the Dragon Balls he had collected was missing. Of course, that's when he knocked Raccoon into the mountain, and we got that prototype, basically Final Flash. That's when he swiped Goldo's head off. That's when he shot the blast at Dodoria, if I'm not mistaken. And this, of course, is when I want to say he had cracked one of the Namekians in the head with the hammer fist. But either way, y'all could correct me on the things that I might be wrong on. Main thing I want to say about this is that it's a bona fide 2.5 figure in terms of mold. Why? Because some things are new, some things are old, and some things are slightly adjusted. Okay, what is new, what's old, what's slightly adjusted, right? Okay, the thing that's new, for sure, is the head sculpt. The head sculpt is they did a very accurate head sculpt for that Namek Saga aesthetic, for that Namek Saga art style. So, props to them for that. And of course, he has the wider upper torso, brand new upper torso. This is different from the Saiyan Saga Vegeta that we had released, in like 2017? You know, on the 2.0 mold. And speaking of the 2.0 mold, the hips are ever so slightly adjusted if you look. I'll probably put an arrow pointing to it or something like that. But this figure in general, I would say, is a cool release. It's something that I want. It's Namek Saga Vegeta, but not the Namek Saga Vegeta I want. I'm sure the one with the old style armor, and by old I mean in terms of the lore of the show, the old style armor will be shown off. Basically the armor he fought Frieza in. I'm sure that'll happen at some point. But as you can see, we're still rounding out stuff from the Frieza saga. You know? So be mindful of that. Expect a couple more Frieza saga releases. And in fact, the only time Vegeta's armor looked like this pristine on Namek was when he fought the Doria, and when he fought who else? Qui. And so fully expect. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to happen, but don't be surprised if we get a Qui figure. And I'm sure completionists will love it. People that are kind of like casual in collecting this line, they probably be like, whatever, I don't really mess with Qui like that. But with that being said, this figure in general, I think looks pretty awesome. Very happy about it. Only thing that sucks is that it's a premium Bandai exclusive. But at this point, we already know what the deal is, and Tamashii making everything a premium Bandai exclusive. Not everything, but most things. You either gonna suck it up and buy the figure, or you're gonna be like, nah, I'm cool on this line. I'll just not collect the line anymore. And some people have decided to do that. Now, one thing I will say is, you know, there's been this complaint, and I'll probably do a whole separate video on this, but I just want to touch on this real quick. No, the little complaint like, oh, another Vegeta figure, but when you really think about it, how many Vegeta figures have we really gotten? And he's like a very important character to the series. We got this Vegeta figure, right? This is 2024 that this is coming out, right? We got the Super Saiyan Vegeta figure that released this year in 2023. But before that, the last Vegeta figure to come out was during the Broly movie. What was that, 2019? For Vegeta to be such an important character to the series, we barely gotten any Vegeta figures as opposed to Goku, which, you know, he's the main character. He's the star of the show, so what can you expect from Goku, right? We're always going to get more Goku figures. He's the main character. What are you going to do? But in terms of official releases, we haven't gotten many Vegeta figures at all. And the next Vegeta figure, I believe, is scheduled to release in, February? And that's supposed to be a re-release of the Broly Vegeta, which is whatever. You know? So, you know, when you say, oh, another Vegeta figure, unless you collect in third party, I don't see a reason to ever really say that. You know? You don't have many Vegeta figures. In fact, you know, I don't really want to get into discussion because I had planned to do a whole separate video on this, but I think the difference between me collecting and some of you might agree or disagree is that I think many people are just happy to have the character in figure form. I want a definitive version of the character in figure form. I'm not interested in just having the character just for the sake of saying, oh, I have the character. But that's just personally how I look at it. I don't look at, like, if it can be done better, sculpted better, better articulation and everything, I'll buy the figure again. Especially if it's a character I like. So, with that being said, overall, Comic-Con things that they showed off at Comic-Con, I guess it was cool. Now, oh yeah, let me get into this. The reason why I'm not too surprised about how things went is because New York Comic-Con suffers from being like a month before the Tokyo show. Now, the Tokyo show is where they show, you know, the heavy hitters, the box office stuff. So when the Tokyo show comes around, fully expect some cool stuff to be shown off. The last Tokyo show, to give y'all a point of reference, Gohan Beast was revealed, and that brand new Super Saiyan Trunks, of course, was riddled with QC issues, and best believe that will be revealed at some point. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But, you know, when we initially saw those Trunks pictures, we were hyped. And of course, we got the re-release of, or repaint of the Super Saiyan Vegeta, right? So, Tokyo Show, we're definitely gonna get some cool stuff revealed. You know, that's their baby right there. That's where they're gonna show, like I said, the heavy hitting stuff. You never know what could be shown at the Tokyo Show. Now, like I said, Comic-Con suffers from being too close to that, so they had to reveal something for Comic-Con, but at the same time, it's not gonna be nearly as hype as the Tokyo Show. Now, another thing that kind of sucks is that I was hoping to get an update on King Cole. Just even if it's not even a definitive, hey, this is going up for pre-order, just something to say, oh, this is gonna come out whatever time. And Chila and Limo was shown off last Comic-Con, yet no word on them. So all very, very interesting. No update on King Cole which was revealed at San Diego Comic-Con. Mecha Frieza was shown at New York City Comic-Con, so they didn't forget about that. I'm not saying that they forgot about King Cole, but either way, I'm rambling now. That being said, peace. Alright people, I'm not sure what part of the video I'm going to insert this in, but I completely forgot to cover this part. Forgot to give y'all the price. So as you can see, $65, right? But that's not the only thing I wanted to talk about. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that, as you can see in this picture, and you saw it on Instagram too, Vegeta's shoulder pads aren't fully connected to his torso, because of course he has a cross arm accessory on, and because of that it's impeding everything, right? What they should do is just do what they did with Jace from the Game Force, right? Just make it sculpt a piece, or sculpt the upper torso piece, or whatever you have to do that you could just fit onto Vegeta, and it'll be in that, it'll sit flush on the shoulders or what have you, and not give us this aesthetic. Make a separate piece, make a separate torso shoulder piece, you know, like they did with Jace. I'll put a picture up somewhere on the screen, but just do that. Just swipe through the picture, same thing as Tamashii, Instagram from Tamashii. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the main thing I wanted to say. I guess I think it's a bit overpriced, not super egregious though. But with that being said, peace. For real this time.